What is up, guys? My name is Bryce Pruitt. This is the M1 Journey, and welcome to the channel. And welcome back to episode 13 of the M1 Journey. I kind of had a little bit of a flat week on the markets overall. I think all three major indices were down just slightly. Didn't really have too much movement up or down, which is not such a bad sight. Kind of had such an extreme rally over the last month that things have kind of tapered off a little bit until we get some more news as far as a vaccine or stimulus, and then of course the upcoming inauguration next month. So we'll kind of see what those factors do to the market. I expect we could be in for a little bit of a bumpy ride depending on how things go with the vaccine, of course. So that's something to keep an eye on. My portfolios did also see a relatively flat week. I kind of had a couple high notes I'll want to talk about, as well as I did finally fund my aggressive portfolio, or at least that's what I'm going to call it, of stocks that are a little bit more volatile but have what I would consider to be explosive growth potential. Not so much dividend oriented, but I'll talk a little bit more about that later. The channel, nothing really new on that front. As always, check out my social media pages at bpruitt_YT. And if you enjoy my content, please drop a like and subscribe. I appreciate it, and we'll go ahead and get into the disclaimer. So guys, as always, I am just 20 years old. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not an expert. Please do your own research, do your own due diligence before making any investment decisions. I'm not going to tell you what to do or not to do with your money. Please do as you please. So with that, I'll get ready to go into my portfolio update for the week. I'm excited to show you guys my activities as far as some of the dividends I've been earning. It was a record week for me personally as far as earning dividends in a single week. So that's kind of exciting. And then as well as I'll finish up by talking about some of what I consider to be the top growth stocks to be buying right now. These are stocks I've kind of had my eye on for a while, and I finally put some money into them. So I'm excited to show those to you guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at my portfolio. All right, guys. So the portfolio for the week, as I stated previously, was pretty flat overall. Didn't see too much movement up or down. Which wasn't completely a bad thing, since over the last month we've seen a pretty solid rally, and then especially over the last quarter we've really been on the upswing. So seeing a little bit of a flat market was not a sight that was unwelcome. Kind of presented a little bit of a buying opportunity as things leveled off. I'll kind of get into my activity for the week, which there's quite a lot of it. As far as my dividends, which was a really banner week, I would say, Johnson & Johnson, ExxonMobil, IBM, Microsoft, Target, and then lastly Costco. Costco, of course, was the special dividend offering that they did to reward the shareholders. I did not quite make it to the full one share, so I only got $9.22. Of course, they were offering $10 per one share. So like I said, really heavy week. And then of course I made my bi-weekly deposit of $125, but I also contributed an extra $50 this week, and I made 3 purchases: Verizon, Costco, and then Dominion Energy. Verizon has had a little bit of a flat month, so I wanted to pick up a little bit more Verizon. Picked up almost a full share. And then Costco also picked up about a third of a share, which I think I'm now at 1 1/4 shares, so pretty happy with that. And then lastly, Dominion, which Dominion's really struggled amongst this continued market rally. So saw a little bit of a buying opportunity, picked up about another 2/3 of a share. So I wasn't too aggressive in my purchases, but I did see some potential for buying opportunities. So as far as my Roth IRA, it was another pretty flat week. Like I said, I was actually down a little bit in this portfolio, but nothing too significant. Still hanging steady here over the last month, and then of course the quarter has been another really outstanding run. My activity here, no purchases this week since last week's purchases, but did get 2 dividends, Johnson & Johnson and Microsoft. So 2 contributions there. Nothing too spectacular, just a little bit over $1, but every bit counts, right? So as far as my winners and losers of the week, winner was pretty easy to determine. I'm sure if you guys were paying attention, you guys saw Disney had a pretty huge week. They even got over $175 a share at one point. I think they're now, sitting at $169.30. Their Disney Plus service showed really, really great results over the last quarter, as well as their announcement of more Marvel and Star Wars properties coming to their streaming service was a real boost for them. They rallied about 15% in a single day on Friday, and then tailed off a little bit today, but still 10% in a single week. And of course, this is my biggest holding, so my gains were a little bit more magnified. So really, really happy about that. And then of course, my loser of the week was in healthcare, and it was Pfizer. Pfizer saw a little bit of a sell-off, which I was a little bit surprised about, to be honest, since their vaccine is now in the early stages of being distributed across the country. I thought we'd see a little bit of a rally, but today had almost a 5% sell-off, so I guess proves that I don't always know everything. But as far as something you might have noticed here, you could see this scary looking number where Brookfield looks like it lost almost 31%, but that is not like accurate or up to date, because that's actually a result of them splitting their stock. Brookfield is undergoing a 3-for-2 stock split, which created this kind of ugly looking number until it's updated in M1 or reflected in that. So I will actually be picking up a little or a few more shares. I only have a little over 3. I think after this it should be around 5. 3-for-2 is a little bit of an interesting split, but nothing to worry about, of course, because it's no losses. Actually, they were up today over almost 4% on the news of the split. So hopefully that'll be resolved soon, so it gets rid of that ugly number. But of course, we'll get into the big news of the week, is that I finally funded my aggressive portfolio. I did put about $300 in, was down today a little over 1%, but we'll get into my holdings here. So I have 10 holdings in this portfolio. Amazon, Berkshire Hathaway, Activision, PayPal, Roku, Teladoc, DraftKings, Workhorse, Boeing, and Carnival. So many of these companies, I'm sure, are things you guys have heard of. Amazon, of course, one of the largest companies in the world. Berkshire Hathaway, which is Warren Buffett's company. If you're a younger person or you enjoy gaming, such as Call of Duty and other properties, Activision, I'm sure you're familiar with. PayPal, Elon Musk's original company he owned. Many more people are using Roku. Teladoc is one that people may not be as familiar with yet, but with the pandemic and everything, I think people are seeing a shift towards more virtual doctor visits, so this is one to keep an eye on, I think. Then, of course, DraftKings, as sports gambling becomes legalized in many states and eventually nationally, is a big industry I foresee really taking off. Then Workhorse is my attempt to get in the electric vehicle industry. Kind of click on it here, get more details. Workhorse makes electric cars, but they don't make it like for consumers. They do it for industry, such as semi-trucks or other means of mass transportation. I think it's something to definitely keep an eye out on. I resisted the urge to go with Tesla because Tesla is just so unpredictable. I couldn't begin to tell you what it's worth or where it's headed. I just don't know, and I'm not comfortable enough making an investment in Tesla at this current time. So Workhorse was my choice for the electric vehicle industry. And then, of course, Boeing and Carnival, which are long established companies that have been crushed by the pandemic, especially Carnival. Carnival is a company I'm very familiar with. My family are avid cruisers, so I think Carnival is still a good company. Just has had a unfortunate series of events with the pandemic. As you can see here, they were trading in the mid to high 40s and then just absolutely got destroyed by the pandemic. And then Boeing, if you haven't already, check out my Let's Discuss video where I talked about them. I believe some of my comments in there that I wouldn't be investing in Boeing for a while, but I like Boeing and I want to believe in Boeing, so I thought I'd take a small position in them. As you can see, none of these fractional shares are very large. This is just a portfolio that I'm just going to kind of add to periodically when I see opportunity. It's not going to be something I really focus on, or it's just something I'm just going to keep an eye on just to kind of have my toes in the water a little bit in these different companies that I like. If I see an opportunity like some of these, I will buy more aggressively, but it's not something I'm going to make regular contributions bi-weekly like I do for my other two portfolios. This will be my very small attempt at, I guess, swing trading. If something shoots up in value and I'm not in love with it, I will probably just sell it, or I could add positions, could sell positions. It's just going to be pretty fluid. But I think it's kind of exciting because it's a little bit of a different strategy than what I normally do with dividends, because I believe the only one out of these 10 that even pay a dividend is Activision, and Activision pays a very minute dividend. So that's kind of what I have going on. I'm sure many of you probably have your eyes on these same companies, except for maybe Workhorse. That's probably the most obscure out of these 10. But I like where their company's headed. I like what their focus is as far as a play in the EV industry. So that's kind of my update for the week as far as my portfolios are concerned. I'd really appreciate if you guys could share your comments about my holdings here, because I'm not as familiar with growth stocks as I am with typical blue chip dividend payers. So I know people are a lot more versed in that than I am, so I just really appreciate your input. So won't ramble on here too much longer, so we'll take a look at my final comments. So I hope you guys enjoyed my portfolio update for the week. Please share your thoughts in the comments down below, whether you agree or disagree with some of the moves I've been making, as well as my viewer question of the week is what growth stocks are you guys buying the most aggressively right now? Can be really anything. It can be stocks that are kind of up and coming and maybe not as many people know about, or they can be stocks that have a strong history but have really been beaten up this year for various reasons. So share those down in the comments. I enjoy your guys' input. As always, use my link down in the description to sign up on M1 Finance. Of course, when you do so and make your first deposit, you get $10, which is a nice reward from them. And then my final thought and comment is always like and subscribe if you enjoy my content. It really means a lot to me, and it helps you guys stay up to date with everything I'm doing when I'm posting videos every Monday and Thursday. And if you haven't already done so, check out my latest Let's Discuss video from last Thursday, where I talked about 3M and their stock and my thoughts about it, as well as seeing the conclusion of my Amazon gift card raffle. So that kind of wraps everything up for this video. So I will see you guys on Thursday. Thanks.